Just so beautiful.
All right.
Simply wonderful.
We are heading over. We are heading over. At the end of the song, we're heading over to the TR News and Reviews. That's where the show is going to be at. This week episode of This Is Us, brought to you by the TR Show. Everybody head over to the TR News and Reviews. That's where we're going to be. That's where we're going to be.
You show me the true meaning of love. I wanna be with you. Oh, baby. Oh, I wanna be with you.
All right, everybody hit that link. That's where the show is at tonight. Everybody hit that link. Renee, Rowena, I'm happy to see you jump over there. The show is at the TR News and Reviews. Everybody go over there. That's the link.
Come stay with me. Oh, darling. She was definitely out of my league. Never thought I had a chance. Tonight it's gonna be a different experience. You're just so beautiful. You're simply wonderful. Even though I try to stay real cool, there's a fire burning deep inside. Whatever you want to do, don't rush cause we got all night. You're just so beautiful. Simply wonderful. I want you to stay with me. Let's make it last all through the night. I hope that I'm not dreaming. With you, I'll take my time. Baby, come stay with me. Feels like the start of something new. Show me the true meaning of love. I wanna make it with you. Come stay with me. Is it the way you move your hips when you dance and it comes to me? Is it the wine that we just sipped? We can deny this energy. It feels so beautiful. Simply wonderful. Baby, come stay with me. Let's make it last all through the night. I hope that I'm not dreaming. With you, I'll take my time. Baby, come stay with me. Feels like the start of something new. Show me the true meaning of love. I wanna make it with you. Come stay with me. You're just so beautiful. Simply wonderful.
Okay, we want to say greetings and welcome to another edition of This Is Us right here on the TR Show. Sponsored by the TR Show, of course. I am yours truly, TR Rex, representing for the TR News and Reviews. I'm yours truly. Now, this evening we have an interesting story to tell. Of course, the story this evening has to do with my friend, my very good friend. His name is J. Edge, the Jamaican singer. As a matter of fact, I should have played his song. You know, he has a song about memories. And I can imagine for 8 years, he's been, doing so many things with this wonderful lady. I am sure that he's created several memories, of course, over the past 8 years. Anyway, he's here to tell the story and to talk about his marriage and why did he choose this wonderful lady as the wife. Why didn't he choose somebody else? Why didn't he choose A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, or whatever? But he chose this one to be his wife. And of course, we're going to find out exactly why he chose, of course, this one to be his lawful wedded wife from until death do us part. That's what he's saying to this girl right now. So without further ado, let's just welcome the amazing couple on the show to talk about marriage because they are young people like myself. Oh, I forgot I'm not so young anymore. They're almost as young as myself. Well, I am almost as young as they are, but they chose to do this amazing thing. According to the Bible, the bed is undefiled as soon as you get married to the woman that you believe in, that you love. The bed is no longer, all a mess and so forth and so on. So I want to ask them, since their bed has been undefiled, does it feel better? Or, those questions we'll be asking them. So let's just bring them on. Let's have them talk about it. So welcome to the show. This is Edge, the Jamaican singer, and of course his wife, Renee. We're having some there. Oh no!
Gun. Greetings. Yeah, man, the mic was breaking up a bit a while ago. You hear me?
Yeah, we're hearing you.
Hi.
Yeah.
All right. So what I'm going to do first, have a bad microphone problem. Um,
Breaking up.
all right. So I'm going to give you the platform as soon as you get yourself sorted out. What you're going to do is you're going to tell your story, how you met, and what caused you to make that decision for this lady to be your wife. I know I have several questions for you, but I'm not going to be asking any questions. I'm going to give you at least 20 minutes to talk about your journey, the relationship, whatever you want to talk about. And then I'm going to ask you all the questions after. So tell your story, go right ahead, tell what you have to say to the people. The people, the royal family from the TR show. This is the Jamaican singer that you heard singing that song of memories before. That song that I played several times. This is the artist behind that song. And the girl that is sitting next to him is not only his wife, but all right, they're going to tell you the story. So, welcome to the TR show one more time. And the floor is all yours.
Yeah. Bless up, TR. Thanks for having us. Yes, so my name is J Edge, and this is my beautiful wife,
Renee. Renee
Renee.
Chantal.
Renee Williams. Yeah.
I should put the name out
my
there,
last
right?
name, yeah.
Williams.
So we met back in
12.
2012. It was what night was it? I
I
think
think
it
it was
was
a
a
Thursday.
yeah.
You
She
were
said it
not
was a
going to
Thursday.
say Thursday.
Yeah, it was a night. We met at Sovereign in Legani.
I in Kingston for
Yeah, well,
overseas. Is it
yes,
Kingston, Jamaica? One of the more uptown spots.
yeah. So I could tell she was really into me, really.
That's not how I remember it. But go on. Tell the people the story.
Yeah, man. So me and my friend, you have to mention him name, Javi. Me and Javi said, all right, we'll go take a walk up a Sovereign, scope out the place. You know the style TR from back in the days. You know them style. So we said we'll take a walk, scope out the place,
Check it out.
fresh from foreign. Just come back off a tour. You see me? So we're profiling. Anyways,
That's what happened.
anyways, Javi saw one of his friend who was friends with Renee, and that's how I ended up started talking to Renee.
Okay, you're
So
telling the story wrong. Because
Yeah, look at me see Joanna.
Alright, go ahead.
Talk. That part of the story. Fill in when I miss out.
His friend and I had a mutual friend who was there, right? And he's there with his friend, and she happens to see me, and we, talk a little bit. Hi, how are you? Whatever. And he says to me, "Hi, I'm Jay. How are you?" And I'm just like, why is this man just,
Yeah, because she's supposed to know me. You see me, TR. The artist I talk to her, you see me. So we give her one of them aliens. They're like, yo, Jay, you see me. Anyways,
I was just, who is this man? And
anyways, I remember me send her some credit. Send her some credit, which was
why you say it like that?
yes, I send her that. Sending her the credit was the ploy to
This
get her
man
number.
called me into getting my phone number and tell me sending me credit because I needed to call a taxi. And
Yeah.
I said, I don't have no credit and the pharmacy locks. I can't buy no credit. Him said, give him the number.
Yeah.
Don't tell them like we give the
Yeah.
number.
Anyways, that same night though, Realist and the whole family, their family, we ended up going to Devon House that night. That same night, Javi and Joanna and the both of us, we went to Devon House and we bought a slushy.
Yeah.
And we shared that slushy because I left my wallet. That's the story. That's the
I
story.
still think that's an excuse. But our son just walked in. But you were not born yet when this story we're talking about. But you can go and play with your brother.
Anyways.
Okay.
Yeah. So I mean, fast forwarding that night now. Yes, the phone thing. She never had a phone. 3 days after that, I call her, text her.
My phone didn't have a charger.
That's what she said.
Happened.
She didn't have a charger.
And he could not get. After that night, I wasn't so smitten. And so I didn't necessarily put on the energy to call it. And he...
Duke, I call, if you're tired of send text. Still me, I say, say that girl, you style me, though, brother.
He called me for like 3 days. And then when I did respond, honestly, because I didn't have a charger, I replied and I said, hey, I just got my phone charged. We can text here. And little did I know, when he said, can you meet me at Sovereign? He was calling me to give me a charger. He got time. Yeah, and he called me, gave me a charger, and said, when we call you, please make sure you answer. You're gonna have no excuse. And it was smooth sailing from there.
Yeah, pretty much with us, no say. Yeah, we have to keep the link. You see me? So the link was kept, and a year, a couple months after that, we pretty much just
it fell into place.
Yeah, and
we've been inseparable ever since.
Yeah.
But I get the honest
year,
I did like him from the first night, but I couldn't tell him that.
Last year was what, 7 years? 7 years we were together. I proposed last year, April, on our birthday. Mom, what propelled me to propose? So we were together for 7 years, and I remember a conversation we had at the start of the relationship where you had said to me, if we reach 7 or 8 years and I don't propose, it don't make sense. I do it again. See?
Sounds like me.
Yeah. That was a lot of pressure because, as you know, me come from a place where marriage for me, boy, it was a big decision. It was a big decision for me. Say, all right, I go choose this lady, even though I did choose her from 7 years ago. But just to make the next step, just to commit and say, yo, till death do us part, bro. And
You choose
this
the
is
right
a serious thing, and you make a choice now. You're off the market, and that's it, bro. That's it. This is a lifetime commitment, and at the end of the day, when I sit down and evaluate it, I realize, I'm growing, and at the end of the day, we're getting old. We're all getting old, and it don't make no sense. We go through life, and at the end of it, that is when we start searching for that companionship. Because we're not gonna get it, and when we're old and take all the medication, we're not gonna find a body we really attend to it, because 30 or 50 years or something build with them just into it just as them love themselves. That is the way them love you. You see me, you not get that just build like overnight. So when me analyze that, me I say, yo, me need that, and me feel like this is something me can preserve with this young lady. So I decide to pursue that. I mean, I take up the whole 20 minutes, but I feel like me talk a minute still.
I would have hoped
But I
that
don't know if
you
she want add anything, because I did just kind of jump over.
Well, just for reference, we've been together since I was 19, 20. And okay, funny story, just quick interjection. So when I met him, right, I was 19 years old. And I told him I was 20. Because I was really young. And saying teen at the end of your age just sounds, it sounds terrible. So I did tell him a little white lie, and it dragged on for a couple months.
A couple years.
That's not true.
No, I still remember it, bro. Tell me, sis.
It dragged on for a little while. I turned 20 very soon after we met, so it wasn't very long. But I had to come clean because I didn't think it was going anywhere. And it went somewhere clearly. So I had to tell the truth. But yeah, that was a little white lie. But now you're 30, I'm 27, and we're married and we're happy.
Yep.
all right. So
I think you turned it down.
No.
No?
You're off. We don't think you're on in a realist.
yeah, man, on man.
Not hearing your mic.
You're not hearing me.
No, not hearing at all.
Can anybody in the chat hear me?
No, not hearing at all. Let me try this.
Can anybody in the chat hear me? All right. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Can I hear me now?
Here. I can hear you on this phone.
Now we're hearing you on the playback, but not on the street.
Yeah.
You need a headset.
Oh, it's not even in real time.
Yeah, the stream wouldn't be in real time.
Oh. Where's the headset?
But we were hearing you a while ago before, though. I don't know if I need to. Yeah.
All right. The only thing I can do here,
You should just get the
if you don't have a headset.
1 second.
All right.
You get right here. Let's see this work.
All right. So while they're sorting out their part of the audio, we have a couple of questions that we might want to ask them. Just gonna make sure that they get on properly.
Mobile device not found. Then choose iPhone.
All right. The Bluetooth is connected right now. Still no sound. Yeah.
All right. That's because I wasn't talking. Yeah. Can you hear me now?
Can we reconnect?
Yes, you
Is
can
that
reconnect.
possible?
Should
You
we
can reconnect.
should we leave and come back?
You can leave and come back.
Yeah.
All right. So while they're on their way, we have a lot of questions to ask them. Now, one of the first things that I want to bring forward to us, did you realize that he had almost forgotten the day when they met and those things? It's always a case where the woman document everything. I met him on the 19th day of July, 1985, 1976, 1945. The men always don't remember, when they met. They only can remember the first day when they ask for a little of the something. You know what I mean? Let's
Yeah, we hear you loud and clear.
Yeah, you know.
yeah. So we are saying we realize that while you were trying to remember the date of when you blessed your eyes on this wonderful lady, you were not 100% sure if it was the 12th of August or the 12th of July or the 12th of April. But she
Yeah.
seemed to remember clearly what date was, the 12th of that month. So I am saying that men most times don't remember the little details, the little dates, the women write them down and them document everything, they remember every goddamn thing. So I've seen a case, and I hope that this don't reach your age. So you try pay attention and make
Yeah.
sure it don't reach you.
Yes,
Because
sir.
we go church one morning, and the preacher call up two couple, a married couple, and bring them up to the front and ask them to turn them back to each other. And him say, Mr. Williams, did your wife wear earrings this morning to church, or what color did she wear, if she's wearing any? He didn't know if she was wearing, he didn't know what color. Him did last. Him said, did she wear heels or flats? Him no remember. He said, what color dress did your wife wear to church this morning? He's scratching his chin again. The man was clueless about what his wife wear to church that day.
Yeah.
And of course, they got dressed in the very same house. Now, I'm just saying, when they asked the woman to describe how the man looked, she knew everything. She could say, he's wearing a boot, he's wearing diamond socks, he's wearing a gray pants without seam, and he's wearing a white shirt with tie. Now,
Yeah.
the thing is, most of us men don't take time to compliment our ladies. We think that it is okay to just get up and walk through the door, not tell your wife that she looks all good and everything is okay, and you like her dress, you like her shoes. Women love these little things. But anyway, this is not a counseling session. This is a you telling your story session. So I'm not going to go into that. And we're going to go into questions that you may have to hold on. Okay. All right. So she probably even picked out his suit. Yes, that's right.
Realize we welcome the counseling same way, man. No matter what.
All right. I'm going to this after. But we're going to find out a few things first. Now, one of the questions I want to ask you. You bear a child together. And after 7 years together, you decide, say, yeah, go finally married to her. And of course, you explained that she said to you years ago, say, if 7 years pass, we not do it. Nobody will it again. Nobody asks nothing again. So because this 7 years was coming to a close, you never want to lose her. But what is it about her? What is so special about her that you didn't want to lose her? After 7 years, no question of will you marry me? And then the final year, but I want to lose her again after 7 years. What about her did you find that you did not see 6 years ago? How did you see something so new that you chose this lady to be the wife that you will spend the rest of your life with forever?
All right, that's a good question. No, I don't think that aside that it came 7 years after. I don't think that it came 7 years after. I think it took me 7 years to see what was already there. You see me? So that's what I think really trigger everything. I mean, I remember going away. It was what? The end of, I proposed last year, so it was the end of the other year. I remember being away and having conversations, with my cousin, with my brother-in-law about marriage, and I was on the opposing end of things until sometime in life, it's good to get perspective, talk to persons, already live in certain situation, and I can say, talking to my brother-in-law was really enlightening as well for me as a man, and that also propelled me to make the decision to. So sometimes I just say going in life, it take a while and you can't rush into it because people, even though she said, yo, if 7 years pass, don't bother. It's not because 7 years I'm have to do it because of 7 years. Is I was ready. You see me? At 7 years, I guess probably I put out the effort to be ready at that time, or to not just be there living the same way. You see me? Because I know to that this is something that she wants for us.
Well,
You see me? So definitely I wouldn't say keep that away from her.
All right. I have a question. I have a question. I'm sure say you don't have the answer. I'm sure say Renee have the answer. Now, if I were to ask you, how long have you been married in terms of months, days, and hours? What would the answer be?
May I have the answer, man?
All right, all right, all right. Give it, give it.
Today how much? What time now? Today how much? 8. So we'll do some maths there. Yeah. June. Today much? Today what? 7?
Yeah.
In 7 days, we would have been married for 3 months. Yeah. So 7 days shy of being married for 3 months.
Renee, impass it, test, Renee.
that's not the answer. But we'll take it. We'll take it. We'll take it.
Yeah, man. That's the answer.
All right, all right. So he's correct. Well, him lucky because if he never get it right,
Yeah.
it would have feel miserable. So if you never know the starting date of the relationship, at least him know when he's going to celebrate his first anniversary. So if I should ask you,
If we're being honest though, it's the day before his birthday. So if him forgets,
that makes perfect.
one day before his birthday.
That makes perfect sense. That makes perfect sense. Now,
Yeah,
but
Do we? Rebecca says we look alike. Sorry, I'm in the comments.
no look alike for real. No look alike. Me not lie. No look alike.
Everybody say that. I don't see it.
It's just that she's a more refined version. That's all it is. But definitely look alike. This might go.
Alright.
All right. No, you're not going to see it yet. It's going to take some more time before grow on for you enough so that you can see it. Anyway, you're young. You're a very young couple. You're just 30 years old. She's just 27. But old enough to be married. You bear a child together. You know how it is to be a mother and a father and to have a family together, whole unit. Now, the next question I have is, I know it's been early. It's early since the marriage. Now, have you been challenged in this relationship? Have you been challenged since the wedding? Um, have you been have there been any sort of struggles? Like, would there be any regrets? What would, if there was to be regrets? What would it be? And if there is any challenges, how do you get over your challenges? How do you work things out? What mechanism do you put in place to work things out to make the marriage work?
Well, it's been 2 months. So as far as challenges go, I can't say that there have been, you know, detrimental challenges or challenges that stand out. But we did discuss the other night that, what changes have we noticed since we've been married? That's something we were talking about. And I personally realized that when you decide that you're going to be with somebody forever, you start noticing um, the things that you don't find ideal in the person. So let's say, for instance, um, Jay does not like to wash the pots after I make porridge. Simple example. You see, when you decide that I'm going to be with this person forever, and so every time he make porridge, you're going to have to wash the pot, or there's not going to be water in the pot, or something. Um, it's something you start to look at, and you say, okay, not doing this forever. We're going to have to deal with this today, this week. It has to stop because I'm going to go crazy. So there has been a lot of that. Um, and I think it's just because your mind frame, or you're in the frame of mind that this is your forever now. You're not backing out, and there's no window of escape. You decided on this. So you start battling the problems as they come so that they don't fester. At least for me, that is what I have noticed. Yeah. But outside of that being one of our biggest factors, Corona has taken away our honeymoon period, I think. We've been locked in. So I definitely think we're going to redo this period of our lives once it's all over and we can go outside again. Yeah. For sure. We did have a good honeymoon at the hotel, but it was 7 days. And I've just not to show off my last name or anything yet. So, yeah, I've been home from work. I don't get to sign no new signature, no nothing. So, yeah.
Well, for me, if anything changed, not much. Well, yes, not much change for me personally, but the dynamics of having to deal with what you just said to me in terms of her expectations now has probably tripled because this is for, well, it's me rewiring it because this is me now knowing that, all right, after this argument, we're going to find a result. So we're not the same argument again because this is forever. We can't argue about the same thing forever. So pretty much that is the dynamics of being married. Everything now is forever. You have to, you
Okay, I was almost sure that was going to happen because the audio was getting really bad and everything was getting out of control in terms of the audio. We're sorry that the audio, but there is not the way we would prefer it. We hate when we have a good storyline and then the internet system is a problem. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to invite, if there is so, Renee. Renee, are you still in the chat? I'm not sure if Renee is still here. Renee Rowena, are you still here? I want to drop down a link for phone issues. Yes, I realize, Renee, there is phone issues. All right. Renee Rowena, are you still here? I would love to have somebody on here. Is there anybody in the chat that is willing to come on here to talk a little bit more about marriages and challenge that you face with your wife and your husband and how you resolve them? Because if you don't find a technique how to resolve your problems could actually eat you. You know, it could suck the life out of your relationship. So we want to talk a little bit more about that. We have approximately 25 more minutes to go in this live stream. So we want to invite somebody up here. I don't want to be the only one talking. So if there is somebody that wants to jump on up here, I'm going to provide the link in the chat. So if you want to jump on up here and we can talk a little bit more about relationship issues, we can do that. All right, so that's the link for those who would love to join. We see All in One Tube in the building. Thank you for coming in, All in One Tube. We also have, I saw Lady Reed in here not too long ago. Thank you for coming. William Noel is still here. Thank you for being here, William Noel. We appreciate your presence in here. Rebecca Mundle. Oh, Rebecca, you're up in here. Good to see you, Rebecca. Oh, you probably is a good person to come on up here because, you know, you're into the gospel of Jesus Christ and you know what Jesus had to say to the church about marriage. So you probably is a good person. No, you're single. You can't come up here. Stay. Your mother could probably come on up here and talk about marriage and the issues faced being a wife to a husband. You know, being married for 155 years. What mechanism do you put into place to make that happen? We see Lloyd Powell in the building as well. Thank you for coming in. Thank you for coming in. Who else do we see in here? Did I miss anybody? Greg wants to come up. Oh, hello, Greg. Oh, Expedition Greg, greetings to you and thank you for coming. All right. If we're not getting anybody on here, probably William Noel is the perfect candidate. He's been married for 85 years, so he probably is the perfect candidate to come on up here and talk about how to make your marriage work. Sorry, excuse me. It's a good choice. Okay, all right. Okay, I think I greet everybody in the chat so far. Thank you all for coming. Amy, what you laughing about? Oh, Amy was married too. So probably Amy is the perfect person to come on up here and talk about marriage. But then again, Amy probably don't know how to keep a marriage. Sorry, excuse me. I didn't mean to say that. I apologize. I'd rather to let you speak for yourself. 85 years, yes. William Noel has been married for a very long time, you know. So he's getting his things, you know, properly sorted out. So Davidson, I don't want anybody else to come back up here that is having difficulties with their internet. So if you're from Jamaica but you have a good internet system, then sure you can come on up here. Tommy Travels, have you been married? You know, maybe you can come on up here and shed some light on marriage. But Derek C. Williams is here as well. He's not married. He probably was married 4 times already. I'm not sure. I'm just saying, just maybe. But thank you for being here, Derek C. Williams. So I'm going to drop the link one more time, and we're going to have a little talk up here about marriage and how to keep your marriage going successfully. Because marriage to me is a job. Being a parent is a job. So there are certain things that is definitely a job. when you take the challenge, I have not been married. Okay, Tommy Travels, you have no the signal would knock out when it's not that is JVS. All right, so I don't want to talk about marriage by myself this evening. Carter Club, would you like to join me up here to talk about marriage for a little bit? You know, the things that make marriage interesting. Why should I be married? You know, give me all the reasons why I should consider getting married, because if I am the type of guy who you can't. All right, Carter Club is naked. She can't come on up here. So sorry. All right, we understand, Carter. Angela M. No, you can't. You definitely can't come on up here. Is there anybody in the chat? All right, nobody is in the chat. We have Senna Wolf in the building. Thank you for coming in, Senna Wolf. We appreciate your presence here. Now, I'm going to just put on some pictures of these two since they have been the featured couple. Let me just put these two on for a minute. So here is a picture of, let me just make it bigger. Here is a picture of J Edge and his wife Renee. So right here we have J Edge and Renee. And supposedly this was the day of their marriage. I am new here. Okay, Senna Wolf, thank you for coming here. Welcome to the show. Thank you so much for coming. All right, so this is J Edge and his wife, the day of the wedding. They have been together for 7 years. They got married this year, March. So this year is now approximately 8 years since the marriage, and they have been married. Now, this is a better, well, this picture kind of look better to me. I'm not sure if it's because of the sunshine, but I love this picture. Renee, you're looking really, 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 what's a good word for calling a lady without getting offensive? Beautiful. All right. Sponsored or confirmed, hashtag confirmed by SF Rose. She says a correct word to use is that Renee is absolutely beautiful. All right. Then we have J Edge right here. So we have the contrast of her wearing a glasses with lens, and then Mr. Edge is wearing his without lens. So you see the contrast there. They try to complement each other one way or the next. Now you see he's yes, let me just leave that picture and I will go on to the picture. So this was the title picture for this evening. After 8 years together, I asked well, 7. So I ask your forgiveness that I put 8 years on here. So after 7 years, he decided to ask his girlfriend to marry him, and of course they became wife and husband. They share a child together, and forever until death do they part. That's right. And what God has put together, let no man put asunder. All right, so that is the couple right there, J Edge and Renee. Oh, they're back. Oh, great. J Edge is back. Thank you for coming back, J Edge. All right, so we're gonna just jump over here. All right, scene. All right. We want to find out if the people, how is everyone night going so far? My night is great, just relaxing and chilling. Okay, Senna Wolf, thank you for coming. We are doing very well over this side as well. All right, J Edge is back with us, and of course, he's the husband of the union right there. I love your hair, by the way. Okay, thank you. If you love my hair, then you probably will love the hair of the gentleman in the next window. But except you will just have to love it and leave it because he's the married gentleman right there. All right, so all right, so now I had a few questions before the internet system got a little bit messy. Now, one of the questions that I wanted to ask is do you have what motivates you or inspire you to keep a loving relationship? Because I realized that over the years, you have couples who live together for a long time, and the minute they're married, and the relationship crash. Thank you, Renee. Thank you, Renee. You see how important that is in the life of a man. You
Yeah.
know, even though the man is the sole provider and protector, the woman is the one who sees the little things and can define a square as opposed to a triangle or an octagon. So the beauty of a woman in a relationship is a wonderful thing. And see, Renee is just proving the point right now. Anyway, if you should choose, if you should choose um, a point of motivation, or you should choose a person or a couple that you're inspired by when it comes on to marriage, when you could say you could pick things from their relationship and apply it to your relationship, because that is how we learn. We look at other people and pattern what they do and take and pick things that suits your life. If there is such a couple, I know you're going to say mommy and daddy probably, but if let me ask you, you answer. You know, if there's anybody that motivates you and inspire you, who is that person?
Publicly.
Huh?
I'm saying publicly.
I mean, I guess we have different persons that inspire us. I guess, like as I mentioned before, like my brother-in-law, I really like, the dynamics of his relationship with my sister. You know, just how I see him treat her like a queen. You see me? I really respect that. And see him, Uncle D. I always rate Uncle D, how him deal, how him and him wife. I always, you see me? I have great respect for him. So those are two of the people me look on personally as, two good couple.
Yeah. Personally, for me, my aunt has been married for about, I think it's 32 years or something like that. And they've been together since they were about 16, coming from far. Um, I have seen her and her husband go through it, come out of it, go back in through it again. They've been to a point where they lost almost everything trying to put their daughter through college. I mean, it was just a whole host of things. And through it all, I have never seen her crack or break or mistreat her husband. I've never seen them cold towards one another. And you can tell when they have the little riffs and them little stuff, but they have never um, broken that union. And I feel like that is something I want to emulate, or I've been trying to emulate with us. You will never even, when we're in the thick of it, you will never, as an outsider, be able to say, why would them want so far? Or, you can't say that. You will not say that about us, because we try to remain respectful to each other. Um, and I think that is what is paramount when you have issues in your relationship at any point. Minor issues, major issues, respect is paramount. Because you see, when you're over it and the problem isn't such a problem anymore, and you disrespect that person because you were feeling how you were feeling, it is so hard to take back words, and it is so hard to take back actions, that you can't disrespect the person. Bottom line. So it always just comes to maintaining mutual respect, regardless of the situation. And I think with that, you can get through any problem. And that is something I've seen in my aunt that I try to bring to this marriage. Um, Another thing too that I've taken from them, because I think she's probably my prime example of a good wife. If if it comes to it, even if the person is wrong, you always take the side of your spouse. Always be a united front. And then when you go home, you broke the buckle and you cuss and you fight and yeah. But when you are out, especially if you're in front of your children, remain a united front. Have him back, and same have your back, and just be respectful and maintain that loyalty. and you should be fine in whatever problem you face. Yeah.
All right. Since you're on the floor, I want to ask you a question because I, being a father to an 18-year-old, now this is something that I want to find out because I remember you saying that you met J Edge when you were 19. Now,
Mhm.
what I'm thinking, I know you were a very mature young lady because I met you back in the day as a youngster. Now, I know that you have been mature almost from the start. You know, now, Jermaine met you, and Jermaine was 22, somewhere thereabout. And you were actually more mature than him.
True,
Now,
true.
now the question I ask is, do you feel by any means that you were kind of robbed of your youth in any sense of the word since you've had a relationship since you were 19 years old? You know, most parents, is telling their child or children, get your career together first.
Mhm.
Um, you didn't finish university yet, you didn't finish all of the schooling yet. So,
Yeah.
how did that affect your life then? And how did you cope with going back to school after you met him back in the day, or before you got pregnant, so to speak?
All right. I mean, if let's get a little more personal. Um, when we got together, I was still at UCC. I was studying business admin and marketing, and boy, he was very supportive of it. Let me just put it that way. He was very, very supportive. I had just moved out from my mother's house, and so I decided that I'm gonna take on life by myself. I couldn't afford to do that. I was 19. I was doing promotional jobs for small marketing stuff for big companies. And Jay would kind of pretty much take care of me in the sense that he would give me money to go to school, he would pay the taxi fare, he would buy the lunch, that sort of thing. So he was always very supportive and showed, the capability of a man to a woman and not just, some sex partner. It wasn't like that. And so at 19, the average person, I would say, the focus is on a lot of random things. For me, the focus was growth, personal growth, and he showed that he was a willing and able person to grow with at the time, especially in my situation where I didn't have any ties per se. So, I mean, going home for me wasn't an option to my mother's house. When I left, I just decided I wasn't going back. But we never had a torn relationship. It was just a decision that was made. So to answer the question, do I feel like I was robbed of my youth? No, because we did a lot of fun stuff and we did them together, and I had someone to go through them with.
Still do.
Yeah, well, we're talking about in the teens. Yeah, and so I don't feel like I was. What I will say is I did go through a point when I was around 22 where I felt like I robbed myself of the opportunity of living alone. And I went through that for about a year. Um, where it wasn't that I didn't want to live with him anymore or that I wanted space. It was just there was this feeling of what is it like to have your independence, your full independence, because it's something I kept, it goes through your mind. When, as I said, he was taking care of me when I needed to go to school and stuff. Um, so the money I made, it wasn't like pay your own bills type of thing. He paid all the bills at the time. Um, so I did go through that phase where I wanted to kind of pay my own bills and buy my own food and turn off my lights. And if me and him cuss me, can say come out of my house? Not really. I'm joking. But for real though, I did want that feeling of independence. And so um, I think it's at that point that I put more effort into having my own business and managing him. Oh yes, that came with that phase. That period of time is when I took managing Jay's career seriously, and It was just to find that independence, because I don't think I lost my youth to answer a question, but I think I had a need for independence. Yeah. So growth came
Very,
from that.
very good answer to the question. Very prompt answer to the question. Now, the last thing that I want to ask you before, I'm not sure if anybody in the chat want to ask any personal questions to this married couple, but if there's any questions, you can put your questions forward and they will answer to the best of their ability. But before we go, I want to ask you, because as I say, I try not to think about my daughter in a certain kind of way. Now, I'm not going to get into your personal life too much to ask you too many personal questions, but if I may ask you,
I
um,
don't mind.
at 19, you're barely starting life. You know, this JH probably was your first boyfriend, or you know, somewhere thereabout.
I think
Now,
with an 18-year-old daughter, my appropriate answer would be yes. So you don't go looking at your daughter funny. But the truthful answer is there was one boyfriend before.
okay, and you are saying like within these ages, you feel like you're sexually responsible for your life, so you can make your decision to say, all right, I'm going to give it up tonight. You know, tonight is the night. You know, did you make that decision to say tonight is the night, or what compelled you to say, all right, I think he deserved it now. You know, tonight is the perfect time, or today is the perfect time. What strike that happened that caused you to make the decision? Because I know it's your decision, you know. It would not happen without your decision, so it's your decision. So,
Yeah. Um. All right. Where that is concerned, how to word it. Um. All right. For us, the relationship progressed. It wasn't even quickly. I wouldn't even say quickly. We knew each other for probably 2 months, 2 months, 3 months before we had any kind of sexual interaction. And there were other factors that did kind of contribute to it being 3 months before. Um, but at 19, I think I had a pretty hands-on understanding of the world where I knew exactly what I wanted, when I wanted it, and if I was going to get it or not. So for me, there was a time when if he had pursued me sexually, I would have said no, because I just knew that I wasn't gonna do it. But when it happened, it was because I knew that I felt like there is something here, and I'm starting something because I want to start something, not because I'm in my feelings and my emotions and my body said yes. And it was never that for me when we started. Um, if we're being blunt about it and we're saying, was I just young and horny? I don't think so. But a lot of 19-year-old girls are just young and horny, and they probably just meet a guy for 3 months and they're having sex from the first week, and then them over in 3 months and he's on to the next guy. But it wasn't like that in my case, because I knew when I got with him that it would have been serious based on how it progressed to that point.
one last question before we go. Were you guys kind of public in the initial stage of the relationship? Like you were public in the public, so you weren't afraid. You didn't hide from people. You were together in public, and your mom knew that you had a boyfriend, and everybody um agree, or should I say, your relationship was approved by your parents. Did your mom approve the relationship? Did your father approve the relationship? Did the family members approve the relationship? And in the final stage, when you decide that marriage is going to be it, Did you find anybody saying, I don't think you should, or, and how did you fight that if there was anybody who didn't believe that there should be a marriage or that you two belong together? Because I know um, back in Jamaica, when you have the uptown people and the upper class people, when the dreadlocks boy walk come over yard, them no want that something there, no. You must say, how you get that dread,
No,
that dread
yeah.
boy musician there from? You try to carry back up to back to your friend. How did that work
Yeah.
out?
Okay, so let's get real. My mother did not like any kind of rasta. She did not like locks. She did not like the idea of locks. She did not like. Yeah, it's what you described is my mother. Yeah. So when I never forget it. So Jay walked me home one evening. I went back to stay with her very briefly. It was for the weekend, I think. I didn't go live with her or anything. I stayed there for the weekend, and Jay walked me to the gate. No, she saw him, and he said, "Good evening." So she responded very casually, like, "Yeah, good Monday." Anyhow, I get into the house. She closed the gate, and we sit down around the table, and she says to me, "So, how old is he?" And then he was bearded. Remember, I'm 19, so I'm very young. And he's fully bearded. And I say, he's 22. Because 19 and 22 really not that far off. So she said, that man is not 22. Don't lie to me. I said, he's 22. She just said he's 22. And she said, do not lie to me. Come out to my house if you're going to lie to me. I said, I'm not lying to you. What do you want? His birth certificate? He's 22. And then he always looks a little older than his age. So, I mean,
older than my age, then.
when you were 22, you looked older than 20. Anyway, listen, people, he and Duke, Nairi, they looked the same way. Like they could have been twins at the time. Okay? I'm telling you. So she did not believe me when I said he's 22. And I had to prove it to her. I spent weeks trying to prove it to her. Then she finally met him and she said, Sam can't cut him here. That's after he left. Sam can't cut him here. I was like, Mommy, it's locks. You have to just get with it. Just get with it. And can I tell you, she did not warm up to him until about a year in. And it was, about a year.
Or more.
About a year
or more.
And then we're living together. So she had to. It was just she had to accept it. It was what it was. And then I got pregnant with Josiah, and I don't know if she went through hell. This guy is permanent. They have a child. I don't know if she had a moment like that. But I mean, you see, the thing is in life, once you get to, and I'm gonna loosely say 18, I think you are now a person of your own mind. And even though your parents still paying for certain things and you're doing certain things, I think it is important to respect a person's decisions after that age. Because at this point, they're able to say, if you loosely use the words that parents have to use and say, if you live under my house, you have to live under my rules. At that age, they can logically say, well, fine, I'll go live somewhere else. And the problem with that as a parent, you won't know what they're doing. You won't be able to protect them in the way that you think they need to be protected. And so I do think at 19, you can make a sound decision for yourself. And I do think at 19, you can learn, you can teach things as much as you can learn things at 19. As you said, at 19, you could see the maturity in me. So I just think it's only fair that we respect the young people. I'm speaking for the young people tonight because I've been there and I know what it is to be judged at that age when somebody tells me, you can't make a certain decision and you had this going for you and if you do that, it won't happen. I'm sure you, as an older person, speaking to this younger person, you made some decisions in your life that you wish somebody told you not to do. And you can only tell them that. But if you try to force them, you're going to lose them. And I think I'm straying from the question that you asked a little bit here. But that is the point I was making. At 19, you can make a sound decision.
Yeah, but that ending. Fast forward into the wedding, there was nobody objecting to that.
Yeah,
Nobody
true.
at all. Everybody was very supportive. That much I can say. The entire family on both
Yeah,
sides.
all the naysayers came around
Yeah.
because I think over the years, I mean, we went through days when we were younger, um, like year three. Year three was a rough year, where like couldn't pay rent, couldn't pay bills, all sorts of things. There was just a lot happening at that time, and we grew past that. Like we've dramatically grown past that. And I think when you see two people who live together, love each other, work together, and build something, if you are not on board, you are not seeing what is happening, and you shouldn't be in the presence of those people, because we really did work and come a far way together and build something. So at our wedding, I don't think anyone was even thinking it, to say these two don't belong together, or these two should not be married, or this is a mistake. I can't think of one person there who would have been thinking that.
I would invite them.
Yeah, yeah, because it was in Corona, we had to, limit it, so they wouldn't have been there anyway.
All right. So even though 45 minutes ago I said it was the last question, we still have one final question. So
We love the questions.
yeah, so of course, I know people can assume that a couple may be involved in, let's say, a sexual relationship. So, but even as much as there are speculations and there are assumptions, the baby or the pregnancy is what finally proved that these two have been involved sexually. Now, when you found out that you were pregnant, were you happy that you were pregnant? Were you preparing for a pregnancy? Were you preparing for a baby? Did you prepare a life for a child or children? Was it something that just happened? What was the situation there? Did you plan for a child? Did you decide that, you know what, I want a baby and I'm making a baby? How did you go about that? And after the child came and the pressure mounts because you now have a full-time job as a mother and as a father, how did you work to gauge your life between professional life and domestic life? How did that go?
For me, Jay already had a daughter with someone else, the person he was with before me, actually. And so for me, I never wanted to be his baby mother. That's a term in Jamaica. I mean, anywhere they call them baby mamas. But I just did not want that. That was my one thing. I did not want to be anybody's baby mama, especially if it meant that if it was that we weren't in a secure relationship, which at the time I can say we were not, because we were young, and even though we were living together, we were just cohabitating. It wasn't even cohabitating. Sorry, it wasn't. It wasn't a marriage. It wasn't. It was fun for us. Living together was fun. Um, we cook together. We listen to music. We stay up late in the night. We were young, doing young things, and smoking weed. Listen, that's a whole different thing. We're not even gonna go there. But like we were just having fun and living together and saying, having a baby was not on the plate at that time. So when it came up, I think I was more disappointed than anything else. And that's the word I want to use. I'm going to use disappointed. I wouldn't go as far as distraught, because I did love him. Um, but in the first 3 years, love is love is so loosely used at the beginning of a relationship, I think, because I would say I knew I loved him. I was in love with him, and I could marry him after 3 years. Because that first part of it, you still don't know the person. You live with him, but you don't know everything. And we're so young that the vital questions weren't even asked yet. So I did love him. So having a baby for him wouldn't have been the worst thing. But no, it was not on the plate at all. At all. No. Yeah, I was very disappointed about it. How did you feel about that? Because I remember the
Same,
conversation.
pretty much. Because you don't know the struggles. You don't know the struggles and the bills. I said, "Jah, no."
And you already had.
Yeah. So, but I mean, we dealt with it, and
I mean,
life is
once
life.
you get past the
You
initial
start get
shock,
happy after a while. You start get happy, especially closer to the time of birth and stuff, and you feel the baby start move, and you see me long before that, like from you realize say yo the belly start grow, from belly start grow. That's it. You just know say all right, take the disappointment out of it.
yeah, because something coming. That's what my mother said to me that actually got me to a place where I was like, all right, well, yeah, she's right. She said, look here, you can't vex because something coming, not going. So you have to just get with it. That's exactly what she said to me. And I was just like, okay, all right, then, yeah, she's right. What am I going to do now? Because it's one of two options. And, you know, so we actually we went through that first initial period of arguing, because I will not forget the conversation where Jay said to me, you want to flip your life upside down? He said that to me, and I just went, oh my God. And I was like, you know what? We separately, we are very cool people. Meaning we kind of just roll with it. So when life says, hey, I'm going to box you, we take the box and we keep it pushing. So that for me was my first box that life gave me. And I took it and I went with it. And, you know, by the 7th month, it was all good. But we did go through that, oh, hell no, I don't want a baby phase. Of course we did.
All right. With being an experienced mother and an experienced father and an experienced, you have a home now that you've built together from scratch, from a home without a child to a home with child, and of course the additional children out there. Now, this is definitely the final. Is there, since you understand now
Yeah,
that
you realize
eh,
you sound like one of those pastors we say. And in closing, and then half hour later them say, and in closing.
We like talking to you, so we really don't mind.
so
It's
so
quarantine.
so after being a father and a mother, and you became professionals in raising a child. Now, what are your thoughts in other children? You know, have you dreamt of 10 children, 12, 13, 14 maybe, or you want to just stop at 8? You know, do you have a count, or what is that situation there?
Stop. Stop. Um, I shouldn't answer this by myself, but I think I know the answer. You can look out for more kids, huh? More kids.
He said plural kids. We've been talking about
Stay tuned. Stay tuned for more kids. Probably a daughter, definitely.
We spoke about having one daughter within the next 2 years.
But if we get a son, we have to try again. You see me? If we get a son, we have
Stop
to try
putting that in the
again.
atmosphere. We don't want any more sons. We want one daughter. That's all we want. We want one daughter, and then somehow the conversation went from one daughter to twin daughters. We've been on that. So I've been eating foods, or should I not say that? that can give you twins, because we want twin daughters. But outside of that, it's just the one daughter that we mainly discussed. Yes.
Okay, all right. I definitely like that, because one of my encouragement or in a professional session, when I do a professional counseling session to any patient or any of the people that I have to any of the people that we have. Okay. All right. To any of the people yeah, I mute your mic, so don't worry. I'm just gonna talk and mute your mic, and then I can unmute. So one of my things that I normally say to any patient or any client or any person that I'm talking to that's in the counseling room, I would normally tell them that they should pattern God and how God created heaven and earth. So when God was creating heaven and earth, of course, everybody know what God did. God created the trees, the sea, the land, the animals. God created everything. And when God looked on the earth and said, it was good. Him said, no, we need man to inhabit the earth. So God then create man. The last thing he make was man. He create, he inhabit the earth. And after him create the man, him say, all right, the man look lonely, him want a woman. So him dash a woman upon the man and say, all right, go and enjoy life. So may I say, when we become together, when we come together as married couple or as a union or as a whatever the case might be, it's very important for us to prepare for the children before we even make them. You know, we have to make some plan for them. All right. So when you're creating children, you start to plan the school before you start to have sex. All right, I go want my picnic go up at George's. I go want him go at Huey. I go want him travel go foreign 2 times per year if you go over the school there. I want this, I buy this. That is really the right way to go about getting children. I make a whole mistake and get some picnic when we never plan for or prepare for. But now that me gets a little bit more sensible, this is the way if you plan for your picnic them. Plan the whole way for your picnic them. Plan at least 6 years of your child life before you make the picnic. So when the picnic come, you know, frighten you and say, boy, Jano, you know, some of them already at life hard, you know, and blah, 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 blah. So since you guys are professionals and you know how to make children and you know all the things if you do, you know how hard it is to take care of 1 and 2 and 3. So that means for the next child that is coming, I have the recipe. Somebody in the chat said about the recipe. Lied. What is the recipe for twins? The man said him have the recipe for twins. Please to pass on the recipe because
yeah. Make him tell what the recipe there. Cause we want know.
Come on, Lloyd. Tell us the recipe.
Know, bro. We're looking.
How many twins him have?
That's a good question. How many twins do you have, Lloyd? And what's the what's the remedy?
I'd really like to know how many you have.
All right, Lloyd, come on, don't take forever to type, Lloyd. Just come on up with the answer quick, no, man. If you have the recipe for the twins, pass on the recipe, no, man. Our pizza, rice, and fish, or cornbread.
Mint leaf.
Let me see.
Lloyd no say nothing back yet, man.
Lloyd.
Right down left way.
Joke thing in the one.
Oh, Lloyd have
Lloyd has 2 sets of twins. Okay.
That him say?
Yes. Come through, Lloyd.
All right, Lloyd, we're listening.
All right, Lloyd, pass on the recipe. We're waiting on the recipe because I'm going to make my 2 twins right up here done, you know.
Don't realize you still go again. Just give me job play, man. A big league.
I tell you.
Yeah, Lloyd. Boy, you were Lloyd up the set up.
Why you're the formula? All right, Lloyd, come through. Let's hear what's going on. Not too nice. Can't give it to everyone.
I'm the right. You like my number there, man. How like that move, sir, brother?
If somebody please drop J Edge link in the chat. I think everybody in here connect to J Edge, but lied. Go check out J Edge page and connect to him. And
Email me the recipe.
if you can go write the recipe on his page, then you know that can probably work.
No, it's not for everybody. So I'm have to email it. It have to be private.
Right.
Email it, my boss.
Or if you want to put your email in the chat, make him email it to you.
Yeah, man. Type it then.
You would have like you would like to say not.
Yeah, what you doing? Oh, we can comment that, sir.
Oh, okay.
Comment. No.
All right, Lloyd. We'll send you the email address shortly. How about that night, no?
She has no recipe.
Cookie shares covered.
Alright, Tommy. Nah.
See, the thing is, we need the recipe for twin girls in particular.
Because if we're twin boys now.
No, so we have to send them back.
Twin boys. Ooh.
All right. With that being said, we have come to the end of this episode of This Is Us. We want to say thanks to everybody who turned out to make this stream a successful one. We want to also say thanks to J Edge, Mr. Williams and Mrs. Williams for coming on to share their marital story on the TR News and Reviews. You know, we want to change the show from the TR show to this page. So as of this week, this is where we're going to be having the show. So for those of you, if you're here and you're not yet subscribed to the TR News and Reviews, this is where we're going to be doing the stories. So make sure you're subscribed. And SF Rose is currently dropping the link for J Edge. Go check his channel out. Everybody subscribe. I wonder if you know what I say. Everybody subscribe to him. This man is going to be on BET collecting awards and stuff. If you've always dreamed of going to BET to walk on the red carpet, make sure you know J Edge, because maybe he could be a free pass. You never know. This man could be the free pass to BET one day when he's going to collect his Grammy. So connect with him from now. So that means that when him win the Grammy, you can say, you know, somebody know him. Yeah, man, we meet him from in a TR stream from 2 years ago, and know him a collect Grammy and all them thing there. So check him out. You might find him very useful. He can be a vocal coach if you're a singer. He can make a rhythm for you if you're an artist and you want to get a rhythm if you sing on it. If you want lessons online, him can give you that too. And if you're in a Jamaica, you want to go link him, you can go link him and him teach you for your price. And if you tell him, say, a TR show you come from, then you can get $10 less. So check him out. And again, I want to say thank you, Mr. and Mrs. Williams, for coming to share your time on the TR News and Reviews. Thank you so much.
Just to add to what you said, though, it's mixing, mastering, melodyning, all studio engineering. It's the artist, it's the vocal coach, the pianist, the all-round musician, the lyricist, the songwriter, the everything. So just throwing that in there, the things you miss.
Absolutely right. So anything, if you wake up one night and you dream music, J Edge is the one that you should call. If you think about music, call him. Any department in music, he's locking that. So check him out. And thank you again, as I say, Mr. and Mrs. Williams, for being a part of tonight's show. You have been awesome. and we appreciate your presence here. Thank you so much for coming. This is the couple
for having
to
me.
the world. Thank you for coming, and I see you on the next. This is us, the next episode. Thank you so much for coming, everybody.
Bless up, bless up, bless up.
All right, so guys, those are the lovely couple, Jay Edge and his wife. I want to say thank you all for coming in to be a part of this amazing show. We have we appreciate you for all for coming.
She was definitely out of my league. Never thought I had a chance. Tonight it's gonna be a different experience. You're just so beautiful. You're simply wonderful. Even though I try to stay real cool, there's a fire burning deep inside. Whatever you want to do, rush cause you got all night. You're just so beautiful. Simply wonderful. I want you to stay with me. Let's make it last all through the night. I hope that I'm not dreaming. With you, I'll take my time. Baby, come stay with me. Feels like the start of something new. Show me the true meaning of love. I wanna make it with you. Come stay with me. Is it the way you move your hips when you dancing close to me? Is it the wine that we just said? We can deny this energy. It feels so beautiful. Simply wonderful. Baby, come stay with me. Let's make it last all through the night. I hope that I'm not dreaming. With you, I'll take my time. Baby, come stay with me. Feels like the start of something new. Show me the true meaning of love. I wanna make it with you. Come stay with me. Ba-da-da-da-da-da. Ba-da-da-da-da-da. You're just so beautiful. Simply wonderful. Oh, so baby, come stay with me. I hope that I'm not dreaming. Oh, baby, come stay with me. You show me the true meaning of love. I wanna make it with you. Oh, baby. Oh, I wanna make it with you. Come stay with me. Come stay with me. Oh, baby. Come stay with me. Oh, darling.
Thank you so much for coming. God bless you all.
She was definitely out of my league. Never thought I had a chance. Tonight it's gonna be a different experience. You're just so beautiful. You're simply wonderful. beautiful. Even though I try to stay real cool, there's a fire burning deep inside. Whatever you want to do, no rush cause we got all night. You're just so beautiful, simply wonderful. I want you to stay with me. Let's make it last all through the night. I hope that I'm not dreaming. With you, I'll take my time. Baby, come stay with me. Feels like the start of something new. Show me the true meaning of love. I wanna make it with you. Come stay with me.